I really love to show projects that are worth replicating. A lot of people are excited by this one, and you will understand why. I designed this analog gauge to display an analog voltage or any digital data. Why did I do that? Maybe because I'm quirky and old-fashioned. Okay, I was joking a bit. In reality, there are actually important reasons for using analog display instruments. For example, when it comes to dynamic signals. The movements of a pointer are carrying information that cannot be displayed by a digital value. We as humans can read analog values within milliseconds, at least roughly. This ability has developed over the course of evolution. With a digital display, we have to read and understand the number so that we are aware of the value that is actually being displayed. This takes a second or even longer. And for this reason, people like to have an analog speedometer on a vehicle. I published various videos in which I described everything for you to replicate that project yourself. It is based on the Arduino platform. In my mind, it is the standard for hobbyists and semi-professionals. Although I have a professional engineering background, I have to say that I'm enjoying Arduino more and more, because it supports many affordable and powerful microprocessor boards. And then I'm having so much fun in designing casings myself. And if I want to realize a housing, I don't even need to own a 3D printer myself. I can have the 3D printing done completely by the sponsor of this video. You can get 3D printing as a service from PCBWay. And you have a great choice for the materials. That's really cool, isn't it? I had some preliminary thoughts about how to connect the device to the slot car racetrack, and I carried out some tests in order to see what the added value of this thing would be. My videos about it might also interest you. In principle, we measure the voltage that we feed to the slot car's motor. Since this voltage is roughly proportional to the speed of the motor, I decided to rounds per minute on the dial, which I also made myself. Today we're actually going to find out whether that thing is bringing more fun to the slot car racetrack. And here is a tip for slot car fans. A constant voltage lap power supply noticeably improves the properties of your slot car racetrack. However, it is not necessary for our racing gauge, because it works just as well with an old DC power supply. By the way, I had a new idea for the function of the yellow LED. In the moment when the pilot is releasing the speed controller to 0, the slot car's dynamic brake takes effect and the yellow LED lights up at the same time. It's pretty cool to actually see when the slot cars are braking. And the acceleration and the speed are displayed realistically by the pointer movements. The red LED starts to light up in the upper speed range. And if you accelerate even further, then the red LED starts flashing wildly. This is often the moment when you were simply too fast and the racing car jumps off the track. As a spectator of the race, you're getting a real wow factor, because you can see much better when the pilots are accelerating or decelerating. Without the gauge, you wouldn't experience this crazy action so intensively. We all think it's just a great idea to replicate. So, guys, start your Arduino IDE. Of course, the pilots cannot read the display themselves during the race. I think this is almost impossible to do. But it's a lot of fun to look at the driving style of your competitors, because you can learn a lot from this. In case you have two of these devices, it becomes even more interesting, because you can then directly compare the driving style of the competitors during the race. By the way, the card box with the LEDs on it is a prototype lap counter, which we are currently developing further. There are also a number of interesting videos about it on the channel, and I promise there will be a nice 3D printed casing. My nephews and my brother-in-law really want to keep this thing permanently. And okay, I have to build a second device for the second track. These are the moments when a maker project is really fun. What do you think about it? Sorry, the summary is very short today because I urgently need to build the second device. See you! Now stay tuned and don't forget to support the channel. See you soon in the coming episodes.